A prayer from the heart, introducing Saint Ignatius and the Suscipe. This prayer is a profound expression of faith and surrender, deeply rooted in the spiritual traditions of the Catholic Church. Saint Ignatius Loyola was a Spanish soldier turned mystic. Born in 1491 in the Basque region of Spain, Ignatius's early life was marked by a desire for military glory and adventure. However, a severe injury in battle led him to a profound spiritual awakening. He founded the Society of Jesus, also known as the Jesuits, in 1540. The Jesuits became known for their educational, missionary, and charitable works, spreading Ignatius's vision of finding God in all things across the globe. Ignatius is known for his focus on finding God in all things. This principle is central to Ignatian spirituality, encouraging individuals to seek and encounter the divine in every aspect of their daily lives, whether in nature, work, or relationships. He is also known for his emphasis on discernment or seeking God's will. Discernment involves prayerful reflection and decision-making, aiming to align one's choices with God's desires and purposes. One of Ignatius's most famous prayers is the Suscipe. This prayer encapsulates the essence of Ignatian spirituality, calling for a complete offering of oneself to God. Suscipe is the Latin word for receive. The prayer begins with the words, "Take, Lord, and receive," setting the tone for a heartfelt plea for divine acceptance and guidance. The prayer is a beautiful and powerful expression of surrender to God. It invites the faithful to offer their entire being, mind, heart, and soul, to the divine will, trusting in God's providence and love. It is often used in retreats and other spiritual exercises. These settings provide a conducive environment for deep reflection and connection with God, making the Suscipe a fitting prayer for such occasions. The Suscipe is short but profound. Despite its brevity, the prayer's depth lies in its total offering and the trust it places in God's hands. It expresses a desire to give everything to God. This includes not only our material possessions but also our talents, our time, and our very selves, acknowledging that all we have is a gift from God. This includes our possessions, our talents, and our very selves. By offering these to God, we recognize His sovereignty and our dependence on His grace and mercy. The prayer reflects the heart of Ignatian spirituality. It embodies the spirit of selflessness, humility, and a deep yearning to live in accordance with God's will, making it a timeless and cherished part of the Christian tradition. Finding God in all things, the Suscipe and Ignatian spirituality. The Suscipe is deeply rooted in Ignatian spirituality. It reflects the Jesuit focus on finding God in all things. This means seeing God's presence in our everyday lives. It means recognizing God's hand in all that we do. The prayer invites us to give everything back to God. This includes our joys and sorrows. It includes our successes and failures. In giving everything to God, we find freedom. The Suscipe is not a prayer of resignation, it is a prayer of active surrender. We offer ourselves to God not out of obligation but out of love. We trust that God will use us for good. Letting go and letting God, radical surrender in the Suscipe. The Suscipe is a prayer of radical surrender. It asks us to hold nothing back from God. This can be a challenging concept. We are often afraid to let go of control. The prayer invites us to trust in God's goodness. It asks us to believe that God wants what is best for us. When we surrender to God, we open ourselves to God's love. This radical surrender is not easy. It requires humility, it requires courage, but it is in this surrender that we find true freedom and peace. A soldier's offering, the historical background of the Suscipe. The Suscipe is believed to have been written by Saint Ignatius himself. He likely composed it during a time of intense prayer and reflection. The prayer reflects his own experience of surrender to God. Ignatius was a soldier before he was a priest. He was injured in battle. During his recovery, he had a profound conversion experience. He realized that his life had a deeper purpose. The Suscipe echoes the language of military service. Ignatius offers his life to God as a soldier would offer their life to a king. The prayer is a reminder that we are all called to be soldiers for Christ. The Suscipe is as relevant today as it was in Ignatius's time. We live in a world that is often chaotic and uncertain, but the prayer offers us a way to find peace. It reminds us that we are not alone. We can use the Suscipe as a daily prayer, whether we are feeling lost or afraid, or even when making important decisions. The prayer can help us to stay grounded in God's presence. The Suscipe is a prayer for all people. It's a prayer for those who are seeking meaning and purpose in their lives, and for those who are longing for a deeper relationship with God. Your body, a gift, offering your health. The Suscipe begins with offering our bodies to God. This ancient prayer invites us to present our physical selves as a sacred offering. It is a profound act of devotion, acknowledging that our bodies are not merely vessels for our souls, but integral parts of our spiritual journey. This means recognizing that our physical selves are gifts. Our bodies, with all their strengths and weaknesses, are precious. They are the means through which we experience the world, connect with others, and express our love and gratitude. By offering our bodies, we are expressing a deep sense of gratitude for the life we have been given. We are called to care for our bodies. This involves maintaining our health through proper nutrition, regular exercise, and adequate rest. It means listening to our bodies and responding to their needs with compassion and respect. By doing so, we honor the gift of life and ensure that we are able to serve others effectively. We are also called to use our bodies to serve God. This service can take many forms, from volunteering at a local food bank to comforting someone in need. Our physical actions can be powerful expressions of our faith and love. They can bring comfort, hope, and healing to those around us. This section of the prayer can be particularly meaningful for people who are sick or suffering. It reminds them that their pain and suffering are not in vain. Even in their weakest moments, they are loved and valued by God. Their suffering can be offered as a form of prayer, a way to connect with the divine and find peace. It is a reminder that even in our weakness, we are loved by God. Our vulnerabilities and struggles do not diminish our worth. Instead, they can deepen our connection with the divine and with others. By offering our pain and suffering, we can find a sense of purpose and meaning, even in the midst of our trials. We can offer our pain and suffering to God. This act of surrender can bring a profound sense of peace and acceptance. It allows us to let go of our burdens and trust in the divine plan. In doing so, we can find strength and resilience knowing that we are not alone in our struggles. Offering our bodies also means using our physical abilities for good. Whether it's helping a teammate, tending to a garden, or simply being present for someone in need, our actions can make a significant impact. They can bring joy, comfort, and healing to those around us. This could involve volunteering our time. By dedicating our time and energy to helping others, we can make a positive difference in our communities. Whether it's packing supplies for those in need or teaching a child, our efforts can have a lasting impact. It could involve using our talents to help others. Our unique skills and abilities are gifts that we can share with the world. Whether it's through music, art, or any other form of expression, we can use our talents to inspire, uplift, and bring joy to others. It could be as simple as offering a smile or a kind word. Small acts of kindness can have a profound impact. They can brighten someone's day, lift their spirits, and remind them that they are not alone. By offering our bodies in service to others, we can create a ripple effect of love and compassion in the world. Your possessions, a gift, offering your wealth and talents. The Suscipe also asks us to offer our possessions to God. This includes our material possessions. It also includes our talents and abilities. We are called to use all that we have for God's glory. This does not mean that we need to give away all of our belongings. It means that we should view our possessions as gifts from God. We should use them in a way that honors God. Offering our talents means using our gifts to make a difference in the world. We all have something unique to offer. We can use our talents to serve others. We can use them to build up God's kingdom. Your very self, a gift, offering your whole life. Ultimately, the Suscipe is an offering of our very selves to God. It is a prayer of complete and utter surrender. We are giving God our past, our present, and our future. This is the most challenging part of the prayer. It requires us to let go of our own plans and desires. It requires us to trust that God knows what is best for us. However, it is in this complete surrender that we find true freedom. When we give everything to God, we are free to receive God's love. We are free to experience the fullness of life that God intends for us. A prayer for today, the enduring relevance of the Suscipe. The Suscipe is a timeless prayer. Originating from the heart of Saint Ignatius of Loyola, it has transcended centuries, cultures, and generations. This prayer, simple yet profound, invites us to offer everything we have and are to God. It is a prayer of total surrender, a prayer that calls us to trust in God's providence and love. It speaks to the deepest longings of the human heart. In moments of joy and sorrow, in times of certainty and doubt, the Suscipe resonates with our innermost desires. It echoes our yearning for connection, for meaning, and for a sense of belonging. It is a prayer that meets us where we are, in the midst of our daily lives, and lifts our hearts to God. It offers us a way to connect with God in a profound way. Through the Suscipe, we are invited to lay down our burdens, our fears, and our anxieties at the feet of the divine. It is a prayer that encourages us to trust in God's plan for our lives, to believe that we are held in the loving embrace of our Creator. It reminds us that we are loved unconditionally. In a world that often measures worth by achievements and possessions, the Suscipe is a powerful reminder that our true value lies in being beloved children of God. It reassures us that we are cherished, not for what we do, but for who we are. In a world that is often focused on self-promotion and material possessions, the Suscipe is countercultural. It challenges the prevailing narrative of self-sufficiency and consumerism, calling us instead to a life of humility and dependence on God. It invites us to find our identity not in what we own, but in our relationship with the divine. It calls us to a life of simplicity and surrender. The Suscipe encourages us to let go of our attachments, to release our grip on the things that we think define us. It is a prayer that invites us to embrace a life of freedom, a life where we are not bound by the pursuit of wealth or status, but are free to follow God's will. It challenges us to live for something greater than ourselves. The Suscipe calls us to look beyond our own needs and desires, to see the bigger picture of God's plan for the world. It is a prayer that inspires us to serve others, to be instruments of God's love and grace in the world. The Suscipe is a prayer for all times. Whether we are in moments of peace or turmoil, in times of abundance or scarcity, this prayer remains relevant. It is a timeless reminder of our dependence on God and our call to live lives of faith and trust. It is a prayer that can help us to find peace, meaning, and purpose in our lives. In the midst of the chaos and noise of the modern world, the Suscipe offers a moment of stillness, a chance to reconnect with what truly matters. It is a prayer that grounds us, that centers us, and that guides us on our spiritual journey. It is a prayer that can lead us to a deeper relationship with God. Through the Suscipe, we are drawn into a closer communion with the divine, experiencing the depth of God's love and the beauty of a life lived in surrender to His will. It is a prayer that transforms us, that shapes us, and that leads us ever closer to the heart of God.